I was born in Raymond, Alberta, Canada, January the 8th, 1930. My dad was born in Lehi, Utah, and my mother was born in Payson, Utah. But there was almost like two families of my three older brothers, and then my two sisters and I. And the three older brothers were gone while my two sisters and I were growing up. But we're always close to the family. We're always, through the year. I mean, it seemed like we were together at Christmas time or whatever, And my dad moved back to Raymond, and to feed the kids, he cut hair. And anyway, he had a barber shop in town, and the barber shop was a hub of activity, and everybody met there. He had a shoe shine chair, and so my other brothers were ahead of me in this, but if I wasn't busy milking cows, I was shining shoes. I didn't have any time off. And except I did play basketball. I was good. My dad was great that way, but I had to do all my work first. From the time I was 8 years old, and then before that, but after I was 8, we always had close to a half a dozen milk cows, and my brothers, they weren't home. They weren't around home, and so they left, and so all the chores fell upon me. And so from the time I was 8 years old, I milked like 6 cows, morning and night. Separated the milk. So some I had to deliver some of it on my way to school. We didn't sell very much like that. We mostly shipped it. I had to separate it, and we shipped the cream in cans. And there's no sleeping in ever. I mean, first time you're called, you better hit the floor. And there was no second call. The bed might be upside down on you or whatever. I really always liked, especially because of World War II, I really liked airplanes. And we had a training school or whatever. It was only like 20 miles away from home. But they trained pilots there from all over the world, Australia and England. And these planes were all flying over our town all the time. And I mean, that just really stirred me. I mean, I really liked that. And then we'd see a movie once in a while that showed the planes flying off from aircraft carriers, and all the fighting and stuff like that. And I just really cranked me up. And so one of my big dreams is to become a fighter pilot and fly off from aircraft carriers. I guess crazy, but my only other, but maybe my biggest dream was I wanted to be a rodeo cowboy. I don't know if it's a stretch, but from 12 years on, I rode steers, and then I developed into bulls and broncs and stuff like that, But anyway, that might have been a bigger dream than flying. But I wanted to fly. I really wanted to fly. I was in 1950, and I was called on a mission to Australia, and probably I don't know what they call it, fortunate, lucky, spoiled missionaries that there was in 1950. But I was called to Australia. I always wanted to go to Australia. I was in the mission home for 3 days. They said, they're not going to fly down. We're going to send you to Los Angeles and put you on an old Swedish freighter, you and 2 other missionaries, and you're going to sail down to Australia. So we got on the train. I was only in there 3 days, parts of 3 days in the mission home. So I didn't learn a whole bunch there. And so anyway, we went to Los Angeles and got on this old Swedish freighter. It had 22 passengers on it, and set out for Australia, and we were 1 month going down to Australia. My first date, my wife, she wrote me a note in grade 3 and asked me to go to a Sadie Hawkins junior dance. And I kept that note for a long, long time. But anyway, I don't know, 20 years or so later, I married her. After I come home from my mission. I mean, airplanes, I knew I couldn't, I mean, time had passed for me to fly planes or anything like that, but I thought I want to go into animal husbandry. And so that was my whole thought, and that's what I did. And so the job I had, some of these friends I had been to BYU and stuff like that, and they encouraged me to go. And so we had three kids when I decided to go. And so we moved on to Provo, Utah, and I started school after I had 3 kids. And then anyway, pretty soon we had another one and another one. And pretty soon we had 2 more, and then pretty soon we had 2 more. And pretty soon we had another one. Ended up with 9. I lacked 5 hours of graduating, so I never graduated. My great accomplishment, I mean, I don't think that I can say that I achieved it, but without a doubt, it's my family. It's raising my family, but I can't take the credit for that. I have to give my wife full marks for that. But I don't, I mean, I was out working cows, hauling cows, running cows, whatever. Just go. I give my wife a lot of credit because she's hauling these kids 25 miles to church 3 or 4 times a week. And I was with the cows. I mean, I left in the dark, I come home in the dark. Anyway, she deserves a huge credit for that. And you say greatest accomplishments, that, I got some of the greatest kids in the world. I really, really do have. Well, I'd like them to remember me as a good dad, but as a good livestock person. But I guess maybe number 1 is maybe a halfway good dad. I got some good kids. I really got some good kids. I don't know. I'd really like to just tell them to take good care of their families and take as good a care as they can of them, and take good care of them, and stay active in the church. That's what I'd like to tell them,